Hello Year 5, welcome to your final PSHE lesson where we're going to be planning how to support others. Hopefully it's going to be a really nice lesson to finish off our week but also our term. Okay, so I've got a little mindfulness exercise. Apologies, I realised I forgot to put the link up for Tuesdays, but I've got one for you today. And again, even if it's just 5 minutes of kind of you time to just relax before we begin, I really recommend them. I've been doing them and loving them this week. Once you've done that, if you want to, get ready. Let's move on to the start of our lesson. Right, so to begin with, I want you, again, there's another video link for this. It's about 5-6 minutes long. I want you to go and watch this video clip about somebody called Evangeline and their life in rural Kenya. Okay, so that's a country in Africa. I want you to, while you're watching the video, think about the following things. So, how are the lives of the children in the video the same as yours? How are they different? What aspirations and dreams might these children have? We've been thinking a lot about our own hopes and dreams. What do you think they have? Again, do you think they are the same as yours? Do you think they're different to yours? Why don't you go away, watch that, and then come back and we can brainstorm. Apologies, I've just had to throw a naughty kitten off of my lap there, so sorry for the rustling. Okay, hopefully you watch that then. I think quite an empowering video to watch there. Really interesting to see how life differs. And yeah, I think a really strong message there. Okay, right. I want you to think then, so we were looking at somebody else's life in a different country there. I want you to think about, in the UK, what do we share with other countries? Kind of what influences come from other countries into ours that benefit us? Perhaps you can kind of brainstorm things that you think that we have in the UK that come from other places. Why don't you jot them down and then I'll reveal some of my answers. Right, well, firstly, I put trade here. Trade is where you kind of exchange things. So you sell and buy things from other countries. And obviously lots of fruit, vegetables, other food we get are grown or produced in other countries and then are shipped in. So there's lots of things we wouldn't have if it wasn't for that. Clothes, again, the same. I would say probably the majority of the clothes. It's really always interesting. If you have a look at the label inside your clothes, it has like your age or whatever on, normally says made in. Really interesting to look at where your clothes have actually come from in the world. Okay. Another thing I thought was music styles. So I've got reggae here as an example, but lots of different music styles, dance, songs, etc. They come from other places. And then I'd put Great Britain here. Now, obviously, we're in the England part, very close to the Welsh side. But again, I think part of our identity and part of our kind of day-to-day life does come from different parts of the UK as well. And I know certain, some of you have kind of heritage from other parts of the UK or Great Britain as well. So those are kind of things, those are things that we get from other places. What about on the flip side then? What do we do? What does the UK do to support other countries? Well, I've got a list here of different charities, okay? And certainly one thing that I know of is there are a huge range of different charities all over the world. Lots of these, in fact, perhaps all of these are based in the UK. And they are charities that raise money for different causes. Okay, so looking at those, again, you might want to pause me so you can have a look. Are there any of these, how many of these charities have you heard of? Firstly, maybe you could do a little tally of the ones you've heard of. Is there one that is particularly important to you or your family? Now, one for me, it's not actually on here, but the Alzheimer's charity in the UK is particularly important for me because that was something that my granddad suffered with, and so the support that they provide was really important to me. Perhaps you've got a similar experience. So obviously, what is a charity? A charity is something or an organisation that raises money or provides support in lots of different areas. Here we've got cancer support, British Heart Foundation, we've got Children in Need, Comic Relief, we know those kind of things. They raise money for lots of different types of causes. So have you ever raised money for charity? Perhaps you've donated, perhaps you've taken part in an event to raise money. How many different ways can you think of to raise money? Can you make me a little mind map So, for example, I've put 2 examples there. Bake sale and a sponsored swim. You can raise money by selling cakes. You know I'd be there at the front of the line. Or doing a sponsored swim. People sponsoring you for every lap of the swimming pool you do or something. Why don't you? I challenge you to get 10, but I've got a feeling most of you could get 20. As many different ways you can think of to raise money as possible. Pause me. Then when you've got your list, let's get ready to move on. Okay. So hopefully you've come up with lots of ideas. Now, I think particularly at this point, more than ever, it is really important for us to think about the positive impact we can have on other people during these difficult times. Take, for example, Captain Tom. Think about all of the amazing fundraising work he did to help the NHS at a time where he knew things were really challenging for them. So I want us to kind of take inspiration from that and draw kind of our positivity to plan a fundraising event that could raise money for charity. Now, you've just written a list of ideas, haven't you, of all the different ways you could raise money. Fundraising is literally raising funds. Funds is money, so making money, okay? This could be anything. Now, I put there, it could be an event. So it could be that you're going to do a charity 10K. So a run that's 10 kilometres where people can enter and raise money by running for a different charity. I did that with a Bradley Stoke 10K a couple of years ago. Or it could be you're going to have something like a bake sale where you're going to raise money. It might also be, think about, right, well, I'm going to make a product that I'm going to sell. Okay, a bit like if we had like our Wheatfield Fete, where people have stalls and they sell different things. So, you know, it might be you're selling key rings with people's names on, or you have a little stall where people can pay £1 and they come and they decorate a plant pot and they get to take it away. You know, there's limitless options here. Okay, you can think of what you would like best for fundraising. Okay, that it's in your hands. I've put a sheet on. It's an activity sheet. It will be under today's section, and hopefully it's going to help you organize your ideas. Okay, so let me just show you as an example. It's kind of, I've split it into 2 parts to talk you through. So this first bit is all about kind of what it is you're going to do, and yeah, how you're going to prepare it. So this is kind of if you were creating something to sell. Okay, so product, name and cost. Let's take, for example, I am going to produce, let's go with personalised keyrings. Okay, I'm going to just make my writing a bit smaller. So I've decided I'm going to make personalised keyrings where people can pay to get a keyring either with their initial or their name or something like that. So personalised, oh, just too big, personalised keyrings. And the cost of it, I'm going to sell them for £1.50 each. Okay, so materials needed. Well, I'm going to need firstly the metal key rings, aren't I? So the metal key ring part. I'm also going to need some of the materials to make that. So that might be, okay, maybe I'm going to make them, maybe I'm going to knit them. Okay, so I'm going to do little knitted names. So I'm going to need knitting needles. I'm going to need, what else might I need? Wool. I might want some beads for accessorizing, beads and other accessories. I'm just going to do that. Access, there we go. Those might be the things I need. Okay, I might also want pens for personalizing, etc. So when I think about how I'm going to produce these, I need to think about what I'm going to do step by step. So it might be that step 1, I'm going to find out, because I don't want to produce 100 key rings if I'm only going to be able to sell 20. So step 1 might be to do some research. So do my research, survey for who's interested, for what people like, and who's like, and who's interested. Then I can get a rough number for figures. Step 2 is going to be to purchase all of my materials, isn't it? So purchase materials and perhaps decide on my designs. Decide on my keyring designs. Again, it might be, right, I go, I'm just going to do one keyring design, because if I do one, it'll be quicker to make lots of that one design, and that might help me make more money. Or it might be I go, do you know what? So I can attract more people in, I'm going to make 5 different keyring designs to hopefully be able to sell more. Okay. Step 3 is going to be to make my keyrings, isn't it? So make my keyrings. And this might be, am I going to do it independently, or am I going to make a team? So make my keyrings, either going solo or with a team. Okay. And then my outcome description, what's my final thing? Well, I would like a keyring stall. I'm going to have it at an event. So a keyring, so my outcome description is I'm going to have a keyring stall at a local fete where I'm going to aim, maybe I'll aim to raise £100. Aim to raise over £100. Okay. That's kind of the basic outline of what I'd like to do. Now, the next thing for me to do is to decide, like I said, I mentioned earlier about kind of, am I going to go solo or am I going to have a team? And we know sharing's caring. With a workload, we can half it by including kind of somebody else, or we can spread it out even further. So it might be I decide, right, I am going to have a fundraising team, and I could make it up with my friends, or I could choose people that I think would be the very best at doing that. So who would I want to be? Well, one person. I'm going to need somebody to do my research for me, aren't I? And maybe it'd be best if I'm kind of in charge of the research, if I'm the head of the project. So, me researching what customers will want. Now, I'm going to need someone to be kind of a treasurer, or somebody that's in charge of all the money, basically. Might call them the accountant. So I might choose, okay, I know Mr. Winterburn is great with kind of numbers and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to ask Mr. Winterburn to be my account holder and my treasurer. Okay, to be in charge of all those important decisions. Now, I know that Miss Cook in reception is really creative, so I'm going to ask her to do all my advertising for me, to get word out, to let people know that my event's going on. So I'm going to ask Miss Cook to be my advertiser and advertiser, and also head of producing like posters, etc. Okay, it might be that I go, right, Ms. Rutherford, I've seen her knitting, she is cracking, she's going to be part of my keyring making team. Okay, so Ms. Rutherford, Mrs. Boys, they're going to be my keyring producing team. Okay, so those are just some of the jobs. Obviously, they're depending on what your event's going to be. There might be lots of different jobs. If you're doing a sponsored run, who's going to be in charge of the water stall? Who's going to be in charge of putting all of the course out? Who's going to be on first aid? You've got to think of all these things, okay? So have a go at filling in that sheet on the event that you would do to raise money, okay? Once you've done that, I've got a couple of extension ideas that I'll share with you. So if you want to pause me here, and then I'll share with you the extension ideas. Right, okay, so final challenges. Once you've filled in your sheet about what you would do, the steps you would take, and who would be in your team, a few different things you could do. I mentioned making posters. You could create some posters and merchandise to help advertise the event. Maybe you want to make those cool like wristbands or something like that. You could research a charity you'd like to donate to. Okay, so it might be that, like I said, you've got a charity in mind that's kind of close to your heart, or it might be you want to research what these charities do, what they raise money for, and choose maybe one or a couple that you'd like to put your funds towards if you were doing your event. And finally, I've got a little Dragon's Den. I'm hoping you guys know what Dragon's Den is. It's basically a program where people go to these group of people, pitch, put an idea forward and go, look, I really want to do this. Will you give me some money to help me support what I want to do? So could you have a go at presenting your idea to try and get some sponsorship for your event? I put your event there. Maybe it would be, maybe your parents you do this to. If you want to film a little pitch and send it to me, that would be cracking. All right. So happy planning. Good luck. I think it would be something nice to do when, like I said, a nice positive thing to think about. And it may well be that these plans, we could put them into action later on down the road. Okay. Good luck. Happy half term. Thanks for joining me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.